Anyways, we're finally talking some season 2 of Chucky on the channel with episode 1 just dropping on USA and Syfy. I really love season 1, and the way that we left off things with all these different characters had me really excited to finally get some answers to all the speculation we've been having in between seasons. Of course, this only is the first episode of season 2, so we have many episodes to build upon, but the foundation here for the rest of the season does have me excited for the rest of the episodes. Since I rewatched season 1 in preparation for season 2, I thought it was a nice thing that we actually pretty much pick up where we left off. I mean, you could rarely watch the finale and then watch the premiere of season 2, and it's almost seamless because we jump right into the action with Tiffany and Andy and all the different Chucky dolls inside of the truck. Much like in the last season, when you get a bunch of Chucky dolls together, I think that is comedic gold, seeing them argue with one another in the back of the truck. I mean, the bald Chucky especially gets most of the bullying, and he does look pretty freaky with no hair. While this entire opening portion of the episode is great on its own, it sets up some intriguing building blocks for mystery over the course of season 2, having Andy drive the truck off the cliff, presumably killing most of the Chucky dolls and potentially himself. I don't think he died. I mean, they said the body wasn't there. I mean, you're not going to kill off Andy Barclay and Kyle last season in these type of ways, so I think it's going to be really fun to just see where Andy pops up next. Much like with Andy, in episode 1 of season 2, you get a real glimpse of just how traumatized pretty much everybody in the path of Chucky is. I mean, literally each and every character in this entire series is traumatized in some shape or form. Jake leaves to move hours away with his foster family, leaving Devin alone by himself, which made it extra sad when we did have that heartfelt goodbye between the two of them. And Lexi, I think, is the worst of them all when it comes to the trauma, resorting to doing lots of hardcore drugs to try and numb themselves. I mean, everyone pretty much in the show is traumatized by dolls, at least. I mean, even Caroline hates dolls. Then you add on top of that Chucky's still not done terrorizing them. 6 months later at Halloween time, he's back to raising hell, making anonymous FaceTime calls to tease Devin and Jake, which helped make things feel particularly tense when it seemed like he was going to attack Lexi again. But we do see that that's all part of the clever plan he has going on that we don't find out until later in the episode. Previously in the teaser images, we saw in some shape or form that the OG Tiffany doll from Bride of Chucky was going to be incorporated into the show in some shape or form, and I wasn't anticipating this was going to be the way that we used it. I mean, I liked how it was used, just it was kind of a surprise. Having Caroline's therapist give it to her in hopes that she'll get over her fear of dolls, which seems kind of futile because not only does the doll just look very creepy, but I mean, she's pretty skeptical of the doll at first. I mean, they're sleeping together in bed and she's holding a knife. But I can't blame Lexi for the fact that she does just beat up the doll and tie it to a chair, just in case. I mean, you really never know with any sort of doll in this show if it's going to be an evil doll or not. I mean, most of the time it usually is. I mean, let's be honest. The meta nature of the franchise is one of my favorite elements, and they really do work that in here, even in this first episode, with a line of dialogue where Devin, Lexi, and Jake are talking about the Bride of Chucky doll, discussing the in-universe version of Bride of Chucky, which also starred Jennifer Tilly, who we know that Tiffany is in the body of. So we did know they were making in-universe Chucky films like we saw in Seed of Chucky, but I guess they kept making them even after that first one. Despite all the turmoil they're going through in the episode, it did bring me some great joy to see Jake, Devin, and Lexi again, because they do have to get together and take down Chucky, well, again. I mean, Chucky always says you can't keep a good guy down, and you even see that in this episode when he makes his grand appearance in shocking fashion. In many different ways, I would say it was shocking, because he shows up with Jake's foster brother, and he's carrying a bomb with him. I didn't really mention Jake's foster brother all that much. I mean, they only have a couple cute scenes together. They have this Batman and Robin type of dynamic. Listen, I don't know if Uber sponsored the show in some shape or form. We saw Jake use it to get all the way back to Devin for this episode, but I thought it was hysterical that Chucky is mentioning the fact that he uses it to get around for all of his escapades nowadays. It's hilarious on its own, just the line delivery, but the imagery here of thinking about Chucky using Uber to get around and the fact that he has an Uber account is hilarious. I have to wonder what Chucky's rating is on Uber after all of this. But Chucky's plan here is a clever one, like I mentioned earlier, that if all these people aren't going to get together on their own, he's going to find some way to bring them all together so he can blow them all up together and sacrifice this Chucky doll. Obviously, that plan isn't going to work. I mean, it's the first episode of season 2. We're not going to kill off everybody in the first episode. But what really did shock me, though, was the fact that Jake's brother, Gary, runs away with the bomb, and Chucky kills him. Chucky blows up him and Gary inside of the house. I was not expecting a child death to cap off the first episode of the season. Since we knew going in from the promotional material a large chunk of the season is going to be set inside of this Catholic boarding school type of setting, I was not anticipating the catalyst to them being sent there was the death of Jake's foster brother, Gary. So, R.I.P. Gary. I mean, you had a fun episode with your Robin-style quips. That is basically where we leave off the end of episode 1, though. We find out that this boarding school used to be where Charles Charles Lee Ray lived, which is an interesting tidbit that I hope is explored for the rest of the series. And it seems like a Chucky doll is being delivered in perfect timing with all of them getting there for the hijinks to ensue for the rest of the season. All around, a great start to season 2. In my opinion, it was a fun building block for what's to come for the rest of season 2. There's a lot of stuff still hanging in the balance here. We didn't get anything following Jennifer Tilly, or Glenn and Glenda have not shown up yet either, and Nika and all of that stuff. So we have many more things to explore for the rest of the series, but I think that the setting here with the Catholic boarding school type of setting with Jake and all of them there, and of course Chucky's raising hell, it has a lot of potential to be another season that's great, even better maybe even than first season. So make sure you share your thoughts down below. What did you think of episode 1 of season 2 of Chucky? It's great to be back talking Chucky on the channel with you guys. And did you like the episode though? Did you not like the episode? And also, if you have any theories on where we're going to go with the rest of season 2, make sure you share those down below. It's fun this time to conversation with you guys in the comments section down below. Thank you guys, always check the reviews. I always do appreciate that. Make sure to like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so always update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. The next time, I'll see you guys later.